Hey, good morning, everybody. I am so glad to see you here today. If you can't tell, let me move out of the picture. It snowed. Darn it. So it's a snowy day here in northern Illinois. And, spring is springing, but not necessarily fast enough for me. So my poor little crocuses. Anyways, this whole week we're talking about survival skills, how to stay calm, how to deal with anxiety, how to deal with all this crazy stuff that we're living in the modern world. And hey, Sunday, good to see you. A lot of the things that we're dealing with now, it's information and it's wisdom and it's insight and tools. Hey, Francine, that, for the last few thousand years, people have known naturally. And only within, I'd say, the last couple hundred years, people have lost this wisdom of how we actually deal with life. Because if you think about it, it wasn't easy living, survivalist. It wasn't easy living in the middle of nowhere. It wasn't easy living in all of these different places and through these different time periods of life. So our stress isn't necessarily more, but it is different. And we've lost a lot of the really fabulous tools that we have that used to be used all the time to help people stay rational and balanced and get along and have relationships. Hey, Michelle, great to see you. And Kathy's here too, awesome. So we've lost a lot of those wonderful tools. And I'm going to tell you the truth about me. I'm someone with a highly sensitive nervous system, which means that I'm wired to feel stress easily. I'm kind of lazy. I don't like working really hard. I don't like facing my issues and dealing with conflict. Hey, Nancy. I don't like doing big, meaningful, transformational work. I don't want to run a marathon. I don't want to, do these really hard things. I'm someone who enjoys feeling good. Oh my gosh. I'm someone who enjoys pleasure. It's one of the reasons I got into massage therapy, just because it feels really, really good. And so because I'm kind of lazy, because I don't want to face my issues, and I don't want to face conflict and all of this other stuff in my own life, that's normal and natural. And because I'm highly sensitive, so I feel stressed pretty easily, I really dug deep over the last, 10, 15, 20 years over what are the best, easiest, gentlest ways to deal with chronic stress. Because if you are highly sensitive, then you tend to be under chronic stress. And even if you're not highly sensitive, in today's world, oh my gosh, everybody is so in over their head anymore. There's so much chronic stress going on because we're surrounded by toxic people. The food that we're eating isn't healthy. Our environment isn't healthy. All of this toxins in our world. And so we are stressed chronically. We can't get away from it. And instead of, becoming these superheroes that either live in a cave, and become Buddhist monks, or someone who, rises above their issues, hey, Carolyn, and deals with all of their challenges in life, unless we're going to be that person, we need great coping skills for chronic stress. And so I am going to tell you some of my favorites. All right, so let's start out with a little bit of information about stress. Stress is a chemical. It's a chemical called cortisol. And when when our body releases cortisol, it gives us like superhero powers. Oh my gosh, it's one of the greatest anti-inflammatories. It jacks us up. It gives us energy, and it gives us, we become like, Wonder Woman. Oh my gosh, cortisol gives us amazing powers in life. But the problem is when it's released chronically, regularly, and we don't detox it, then it builds up and it starts to cause health problems. Because then we're internalizing it all, and our organs start to shut down because they get overwhelmed. Our digestive system shuts down. Our heart starts to have problems, or we deal with it in unhealthy ways where we start drinking more caffeine or eating more sugar to feel better, or pushing ourselves way too hard, or using things which hurt us in order to get our body to release, something to relax. Or we go the pharmaceutical route. Hey, Margie, we'll go the route either prescription or non-prescription in order to not, okay, Julia, I'll see you later. We take things in order to not feel the cortisol, to not feel what's going on. Hey, Danny. And so those are ways that we've developed which are not good for us to deal with this chronic stress that we're living in. But I'm going to tell you my favorite ways. Okay, so why do people cry when they get overwhelmed? It's because when you cry, in the tears are cortisol and other and white blood cells and other stress chemicals and stress hormones in your body. Your body is detoxing itself when you cry. Hey, Dina, glad to see you. I'm glad you're here. We cry in order to get rid of the hormones in our system. My other big thing when I would get stressed is I'd have to pee. I used to I used to help people rock climb. And we would use a big climbing wall, a very tall climbing wall, in order to teach people. And in order to get it set up for the day, you had to climb this rickety ladder, which, was balanced very gingerly on one part of the wall, right in the middle of one of the rungs. I would get halfway up, and I would have to pee, and I'd have to come back down. And then as soon as I get down, I wouldn't have to pee anymore. So I'd head back up the ladder. Halfway up, I'd have to pee again, and I'd come back down. Why? Because when we pee, our body is getting rid of those chemicals, getting rid of the stress hormones so that our body doesn't feel overwhelmed. Why do we sweat when we're anxious? Because our body is overwhelmed. It's trying to get rid of those stress chemicals in our body. Why do we get congested when we cry? We get little, snot bubbles and whatnot, and our nose and our face fills up. It's because our body is detoxing those hormones out of us, trying to get us back into balance. Why do we spit? Because it's the same thing, getting rid of those stress chemicals so we're not overwhelmed. So if that's how we detox our body naturally, how do we detox it before we get overwhelmed, before we cry while our boss is yelling at us, or sweat when we have to do a presentation, or all of those things? How can we control those things? Or pee when we have to climb halfway up a ladder? How can we control those things so that our body doesn't get overwhelmed, and when we least want it to get rid of the hormones, that's when it does? How do we be proactive? All right, so here's the key. Some of my favorites are ways to sweat. So steam rooms, saunas, hot tubs, hot baths, hot showers. Things that get us to sweat will detox cortisol, will detox your stress. Things that get us to pee will detox our stress. So first thing in the morning, that's one of the reasons I drink water, because I want to get those stress chemicals out of my body as soon as possible. So I'll drink a glass of water so that my system kicks in, and I will pee and I'll detox. I'll also, when you get your digestive system going, you get rid of that as well. A little bit of caffeine does it too, so you excrete that way. That's a great way to release cortisol and to detox ourselves. I will do things which will increase circulation on my skin. So I'll get a massage, which actually is my favorite way to detox, or I'll get a facial, or I'll get a body scrub. If I'm in my shower and I'm doing a body scrub, I'm not only sweating, but I'm increasing the circulation to my skin, and I'm getting rid of those stress chemicals. I'm actually detoxing my body. So I'll do something like that. I have a favorite place called the King Spa, and it's this Korean spa closer to Chicago. I think it's, I don't remember it's in Niles. That's it. And I'll go to the King Spa, and they've got like 7 or 8 different saunas, and they've got, all these different pools, and steam rooms and showers and things, why do you think Asians generally stay pretty calm, pretty zen about things? It's because they use sweating, and they use this detoxing process not only to get rid of, the toxins from their air and their environment, but also to keep their stress chemicals in check. So going to the spa is not a pampering. It's a way that you're detoxing your system. It's fabulous. Okay? So facials, massages, scrubs, hot water, heat, steam room, water, hydration, so that you get rid of it that way. Fiber, so you get rid of it that way. Little bit of caffeine in the morning, because that gets your system going as well. So those tend to be my favorites. Now, we can also add movement. Most people think that when they exercise, they have to do this big thing. But if you're exercising to manage your stress, you really don't have to do a lot. You just have to increase the circulation in your body so your body gets rid of things, so that it detoxes itself. So I will stroll around the track listening to music that I love. I don't work hard. I'll dance a little bit. I'll do this or that. And it'll detox that stress. Dancing is a great one too. A little bit of dancing, have some fun with it. It detoxes you. It keeps your stress in check, because it gets rid of that cortisol and those other stress hormones in your body through movement, through circulation, things along those lines. I love herbal teas, and you've got detox teas. You've got lemon water, you've got cucumber water, you've got all of these great, herbal things that help you stay detoxed. That will keep your stress in check as well. It totally will. The other thing that I love is I love to make myself feel things. If you watch a really sad commercial or a really sad movie, you're going to cry, and that's going to get rid of your stress hormones. Hey, Stevie, if you watch something that's really funny and somebody makes you laugh, or something makes you laugh, a comedian, a funny movie, a friend of yours, that laughter, it causes your body to massage itself, because it's tightening and relaxing and tightening and relaxing. And when you do that, your body starts to flush out everything. So, hey, Beverly. So when you laugh, you're giving yourself a whole internal organ body massage to get rid of that chronic stress. So go see the comedian. Go watch the funny movie. When I am anxious, I will laugh, because it's my body's way of trying to get rid of those stress hormones, of the things that are making me feel anxious. So I'll always laugh at the wrong time, because it's my body's natural way of trying to get rid of these things. When we get mad, if you notice, when you get mad, you tense up, and all that tension, when you let it go, your body opens up and your body relaxes. So sometimes, if you're mad, you need to let yourself get mad, but in a situation that, won't cause drama or more problems in your relationship than you want. So you can let yourself tighten up. You can let yourself, and really do it purposefully and be mad, because on the other side of it, your body will be more relaxed and it's going to detox itself. So the key here isn't facing all of your drama and going to years and years of therapy and, and facing your problems. You actually don't. I don't know. It tells me, Beverly. That's how I know that it's you, because it tells me on the screen who's popping up. So it's actually Facebook. So, you don't have to be the superhero that deals with all of their issues. You can be a normal, natural human being who's just trying to cope with life. But if you get these healthy, beautiful, loving, wonderful, pleasurable habits in place, then when you do that, your body will keep in check. It will be able to stay zen. It will be able to stay level, because you're regularly getting rid of those chemicals which are causing you to feel all jacked up, which are causing you to lose your mind or causing you to have a meltdown. We have those things because our body gets so saturated with these stress chemicals that we have to release them in some way. We have to physically release them in some way. But if you deal with them in these really wonderful ways, pleasurable ways, fun ways, then you aren't going to have the come to Jesus talk with somebody. Hey, Marja, you aren't going to have to face the lion in its den. You know, you'll be able to just live your life and maintain until things sort themselves out. Because a lot of times, stressful situations outside of ourselves, they take care of themselves. And if we can figure out how to maintain through the normal ebbs and flows and waves of living life, how we can cope in a really healthy way, you know, if we can figure that out, then you don't have to become some Buddhist monk or a master or some spiritual guru. You don't have to become that. You don't have to spend the rest of your life in therapy dealing with your issues. You can deal with them by being good to yourself and getting rid of these toxins in your body. And they're not really toxins. They're natural, normal hormones, which have a lot of benefits. They only become toxic when we don't find ways to purge them from our system. So those are my favorites. Those are the most pleasurable, easy, gentle ways I know of. So pick a few. Your homework today is to pick a few things that you love. For me, it's the sauna and the steam room. I try to do that like 3 to 4 times a week. It's hot baths and it's hot showers. I try to do those. It's facials. It can even be something like brushing your hair, because when you brush your hair, it gives your scalp a massage, and that increases the circulation there. So scrubs and washing your hair, especially with stuff that feels good, that's awesome. Letting yourself dance, letting yourself walk, all of those things. Yes. Good call, Kathy. I know, it's a wonderful way to detox. Thank you very much. These are all ways that you can use to handle stress, which they've been using since the beginning of time. That's why sweat lodges existed. That's why saunas existed. You know, yes, there's ceremonies and they're rituals, but they're also ways for your body to stay level when you can't control your environment. And we can't control a lot that's in our environment. And so we can only control how we treat ourselves and the things that we do to feel better. So pick a few, all right, that are your favorites. Do them this week and try to do them regularly. Go for a massage, give yourself a facial, brush your hair, take a bath, go to the sauna or the steam room, do something like that, okay? I really want you to, because it's going to help you stay sane. So thanks for being a part of this great tribe. Hey, Annette, I'm glad you jumped on at the very end. Thanks for being a part of this great tribe. Comment below, no matter where you're seeing it, email or YouTube or Facebook, where I'm doing it now live. Comment, send some love. Let's keep us all motivated and on track, because I'd love to stay connected with everybody who's of a similar mindset, because I'm not a guru, but what I am is somebody with a lot of experience, and we're all in this together. Community is one of the best ways to keep chugging on when life is crazy. Okay? So I hope you have a great rest of your day. I'm going to see you tomorrow, and I have to run because I have a morning appointment. I'll talk to you later. Bye.